on September 30, 2025. That letter was sent by Principal Director of the FID, Keith Darien, to the IC's Director of Investigations, Kevin Stevenson. In the letter, the FID is clear. It says that after extensive review, it has determined there is no reasonable prospect of obtaining evidence to support any criminal charges against the Prime Minister. The FID told the Integrity Commission it does not carry out any investigation on a perfunctory basis. The word perfunctory is an adjective. It's used to describe an action done as a routine duty, but executed quickly, superficially, and without genuine care, interest, or enthusiasm. So what the FID has told the IC is that it does not launch investigations simply for the sake of doing so. The FID noted it had obtained some details of the Prime Minister's expenses.
Hello. With the recent, or would say the ongoing controversy regarding the Integrity Commission and the current ruling government, it is good that the must can realize the inner contradictions in the system that pose itself as the people's representative. In December 2025, the Integrity Commission, the country's anti-corruption body, recommended criminal charges against Minister Andrew Wheatley. The allegations are illicit enrichment, assets worth roughly 164 million Jamaican dollars that he could not account for. I know if that sounds like a straightforward corruption case, you'd be half right. But here's the twist in all this situation. The current Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, has refused to remove Andrew Wheatley from the cabinet, and he says,
Dr. Wheatley retains my confidence in the work that he has been doing in the office of the Prime Minister, particularly in AI and cyber and these other areas. As it relates to the report that was tabled on him, I have read the report briefly. I have not had a chance to go through it. I do intend to be briefed by the attorneys as to exactly what is stated in the report. I do, however, feel
his attorneys or your attorneys or the government's attorneys?
The party's attorneys.
Oh, yeah. All the parties involved.
Yeah. So the charges that are suggested or recommended are serious.
And at the same time, the current Prime Minister is in court challenging the Integrity Commission on his own financial declaration. Government passes amendments to Financial Investigation Division Act, gives the cabinet more control over the agencies that are investigating them. And this is not just a scandal, this is a systematic crisis. What we're watching is the governing state defending itself against its own institutions. And that should tell you everything you need to know about who really runs this country. Let me give you the facts first before we discuss the details. The first fact is Andrew Wheatley resigns from the cabinet in 2018 amid a controversy over an oil refinery deal. And in September 2025, the Prime Minister reappointed him. And at the same time, Wheatley has been under investigation by the same Integrity Commission for over 4 years. The second factor of this situation is in December 2025, the Commission recommended criminal charges against Andrew Wheatley for illicit enrichment, and they say he acquired assets far beyond his lawful income between 2013 and 2022. Fact number 3, the Prime Minister has not removed him and he's allowed Wheatley to remain in cabinet while facing prosecution. Now ask yourself this, and I want you to think about this situation. If you were working in a bank or any private institution or any government institution and you were being investigated for fraud, would you keep that job? The answer is no, you'll be suspended immediately. But in the cabinet, there's different rules. Now, why do you think there are different rules? Well, it's a systematic process of providing immunity to the parliamentary members, and this is in the law. This is not an accident. This is a systematic design to protect the ruling class, and the laws that make this possible, they're not loopholes. They're features of that system. And in September 2024, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the 3 companies connected to him filed a judicial review claims against the Integrity Commission, and these claims include an investigation report into a declaration raising concerns he owns assets disproportionate to his lawful earnings. The second is the special report submitted to the Parliament under Section 36(3) of the Integrity Commission Act. They seek, let me read them to you, set you alright to watch the report, and mandamus, which is to compel the Commission to re-examine the Prime Minister's declaration and exonerate him. So the Prime Minister is responsible for appointing the Integrity Commissioners is in court trying to kill its investigation in its own finances. Now let me ask you, is the Prime Minister challenging a corruption investigation a busybody with a trivial complaint? No, the threshold for leave is low. You just need an arguable case with a realistic prospect of success because the Prime Minister lawyers are the King's Counsel. The report cannot be acted on. The Prime Minister matter is in legal limbo. Years that's how long the ruling class can delay the accountability. In January 2026, Parliament passed amendments to the Financial Investigation Division Act. On surface, it's a good change, led to remove ministerial sign-off for information sharing and make the FID more independent. The amendment ties the FID's agreements to the government policies, not law, not regulation, government policies. What does this mean? It means a minister can issue a quiet instruction, informal, unpublished, and hidden from the Parliament, shaping how and with whom the FID shares intelligence with. Janelle McKeon, an economic consultant, wrote in a cleanup, this backdoor of policy influence must be closed. Secret directives have no place in a modern constitutional democracy. Right? These mechanisms, and they are served for the same purpose, protecting the ruling class from accountability. This is the system working exactly as designed. It's an instrument of the ruling class. And when its own anti-corruption threatens the ruling class, the state mobilizes all its resources to defend itself. If you only see this as a bad behavior by a bad individual, you're missing the entire point of the situation. Corruption is caused by a system that makes it possible, even rational, for people with power to convert the power into personal wealth. This is a systematic design. Most people think the state is a neutral referee. It makes rules, enforce them equally, but this is a wrong view, very wrong view. The current state is an instrument of the ruling class. Under the current state, which is a capitalist market, the state exists to secure the condition for the wealth accumulation, and that means to protect the interests of those who own property, control capital, and hold political power. Anti-corruption agencies like the Integrity Commission are born under the same system. They investigate individual corruption, which is a good thing. No, not denying that. But they never question the system that creates that inequality in the first place. However, what happens when those same agencies, the same one created by the ruling class, start pointing fingers at them? Jamaica is a perfect example of this. The Integrity Commission went beyond low-level officials. It reached Prime Minister and the Cabinet Minister. And what is the response of the ruling class? Legal challenges to the IC power, refusal to cooperate with the investigation, change the laws that give the cabinet more control. The ruling class is using the state to defend itself against its own institutions. And that tells you who the states actually serve. Primitive accumulation was the violent process that creates the first pool of capitalistic wealth. Primitive accumulation doesn't end, it continues in new form. And when a ministry uses political power to access opportunity, contract, connections that ordinary people don't have and convert that wealth into personal wealth, accumulation operating inside the state itself. And the issue is that the system creates opportunities for people in poverty and themselves. And when that system tries to investigate it, the system protects itself. And when the government passes changes to the FID Act, it becomes an instrument of the executive, and it can only share information in line with what the government wants. The state appears to be fair and universal, but is structurally biased in favor of the class that controls the capital and the political power. This is not a failure of individuals. That's a systematic structural problem, and it tells you everything about who the system is designed to protect.